Welcome to another Freaky Fast broadcast, and we're here tonight with the Larry's Art Production ISRC Truck Series. What a night we got for you here, as we're going to be heading to our third race of the season here. As it's all starting to transpire here in season 5, as we've been through 4 amazing seasons, and tonight it's the Dilla 250 here at the Auto Club Speedway. High speeds, lots of drafting, and lots of passes that's going to be made throughout the night here, as drivers are going to be trying their best here to make the most out of the third race of the season and get those points stacked up. But tonight, my name is Zach Hall. Joined alongside me will be Sam Dyer. At some point, I think he's getting some technical issues worked out in the background, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr., our producer, up here in the next few moments here to chat with us and talk about how we feel like the night is going to play out. But it's definitely a wild one here. That's going to be from the start of lap 1 all the way to 90, a wild ride for these drivers as they try to navigate through the night here for the Dilla 250. At the moment, we are currently headed into the qualifying session with about 2 minutes and 55 seconds left. It's going to be all about putting those fast times down and seeing which driver can top the board. Currently, at the moment, we got Trenton Jump topping the times, as he was a very quick driver here last season when we hit these banks. At the moment, it's like Kanata now going to jump up to the top of the leaderboard here, as it's really changing up here at the moment, as the 53 Eric Stamp now trying to make the most out of his qualifying lap. But this is going to be an important time. These trucks will be able to draft very, very well, make lots of passes throughout the night, but it's still going to be all about getting that track position ready. But going to bring Robert Moyer Jr. up here, our producer, up here to talk a little bit and see what we're going to see here at California Speedway.
All right, yeah, Zach. What we're going to see here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with these truck series is speed. Stay in the draft. Draft is going to be a key thing here at Auto Club, and there's a lot of lanes to pass at, so you're going to have to play that, drafting technology, like you do at a super speedway, at the Daytona, or say like the new Atlanta or Talladega, and pick your moves, Zach. Just stay behind somebody, ride, and hopefully they start getting the front tires burned up a little bit, and start pushing that truck. As you can see right here, Eric Stamp getting loose coming out of turn number 2 here, exiting out of 1 and 2. But picking your lanes where you want to be, and try to just stay in the draft.
The draft is going to be super important for sure, and those lanes picking is what's going to make you go forward, because if you pick the wrong lane, you can lose all that momentum, and the qualifying lane that you get will be very, very important also. As let's say about 58 seconds left, still some drivers yet to take time. Looks like Christopher Norris, Chase Schaefer, Tyler Horn, and Nick Crawford have not taken time. Now, I know 2 of those drivers do have penalties, Christopher Norris and Nick Crawford, heading into here tonight, so they won't be qualifying. They'll be starting from the rear of the field, and that's going to be a lot for them to make up here tonight, Robert.
Yeah, most definitely. Again, with you get a packed house of we got here 27, 28, 29 trucks. So start way in the back. Starting back there. Again, I don't think it's that bad, Zach, here at Auto Club. Just stay in the draft, and they do got a stage coming up here. So just ride and, get to that first pit stop, and you should be able to move up. Now, the bad thing about starting in the back, though, is going to be your pit stall selection. You're going to have to try to do leaps and bounds, because you can pass people on the track, but you can also lose what you gained on the track going down pit road and starting in the back here. But as qualifying here has ended here with the ISRC Truck Series, we're going to get ready to bring up the qualifying grid here, Zach.
That we are. We'll see where these drivers are going to line up for the third race of the season for the Dilla 250 here at the Auto Club Speedway. As the Larry's Arts Production ISRC Truck Series has been winding up here as we get into that early stages of this regular season. But here's your starting grid for tonight's race. It's going to be Danny Cochran. What a time for him to put himself on pole position here, as it's going to be Joshua Kanata lining up on the outside of him in the second position. Third is going to go to the 3 truck of Anthony Gaudio. Fourth is going to be Malik Kutz. Fifth going to be the 02 of Ryan Crowfoot. Sixth place is going to be taken by the 31 of Blake Hoppy. Seventh is going to be TJ Crampton. Eighth is going to go to Ali Fonseca. Ninth is going to be John Forbes. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be Noah Steele. Last time we were here, Noah Steele was the winner here at Auto Club, so watch him to move through. A shining start lost last week at Las Vegas, starting in 11th position. That's Matt Dyer. 12th is going to be Trenton Jump, a past series champion. 13th is going to be Austin Halsey. 14th position going to go to the 17 of Mason Cassidy. 15th is going to be Ryan Bird. 16th is going to go to Cody Reed. 17th, Ryan Ferraro. 18th is going to be the one of Martin Morales. 19th is going to go to the 5 of Dakota Moniz. 20th is going to be Kyle Rochelle. Mark Whitley making a return back here tonight in the 21st position. 22nd is going to go to Tyler Dingler. 23rd, Logan Brakey. 24th is going to go to Eric Stamp. 25th is going to be the 39 car of Joshua Freed. 26th is going to go to Tanner D. Johnson. And then 28th is going to go to Nick Crawford with that penalty. 29th is going to go to Christopher Norris, and 30th is going to be for Tyler Horn. We got 30 trucks here tonight, Robert, for the Bia Dilla's 250. This is going to get wild once we get that green flag, where drivers are going to really open up those throttles and get up to some high speeds. And, I'm just interested to see how chaotic will this race be. The draft is so important that I think you could see some very, very big and dangerous moves being made. And drivers who come in here tonight with some worries, definitely, of where they're sitting in the points heading into here tonight already. I know it's early in the season, only the third race, but after tonight, we only have 8 races left in the regular season. So you got to get it started here in California, Robert.
Oh, most definitely, Zach. Yeah, you got to get it started here. I mean, you wanted to have good first 2 races, but, some of that didn't work out for a lot of these drivers that, are looking to battle in the points there and trying to win a championship here for the first time, or, trying to defend like Nick Crawford. The first 2 races for Nick Crawford really, really not as good as what you think for him. I'm sure he would want, better finishes, but for Nick Crawford in that 74, it has to start tonight. And unfortunately, now he's got a penalty starting in the back. So it just seems right now to being the defending champion here at this truck series is not a good thing to try to, keep it for the, to go back to back. So I don't know, man. That's the driver that I'd keep an eye out on, though.
I would definitely keep an eye on him. Also, Mark Whitley coming in here tonight in the 25th position in points. And our pole setter, Danny Cochran, he's in the 24th position. So both those drivers need some good runs. Past winners in this series. We'll see how they can do here tonight at California. As it looks a little bit foggy out there, you're not mistaking your eyes. It's very high humidity. But I can tell you what's about to ramp up is high intensity as the pace car is pulled off. We're getting ready to go into the Geico restart zone, and the green flag is going to wave for the Bia Dilla 250 here at the ISRC Truck Series. And Danny Cochran going to lead us down to turn number 1 with the push from the 3 of Anthony Gaudio.
And yeah, here we go. Anthony Gaudio is going to give him a big push, and this is the first race we're going to see Anthony Gaudio too there, Zach. We haven't seen much of him all season, so it's good to see him out there. But yeah, as you can see, they're pushing, and this is where the chaos starts, going down that back stretch. Guys are trying to find their position and where they want to be.
Everybody positioning themselves as they head down towards turn 3 for the first lap of this opening here. 90 laps for this event here tonight. As you can see, they're fanning out there off of turn number 4 as it's a single file brigade for the first 6 to 7 positions. But from there on back, it is a madhouse, as it looks like John Forbes, one of the first drivers side by side in the 11 machine for that 6th position with the 02 of Ryan Crowfoot. It is really heating up there. You almost got a 4-wide moment there for a moment back there.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't want to do, is go 4 wide here as we watch them come down that backstretch again. And like you said, it is high humidity here. And that's something we don't talk about much, Zach. In a race, and you don't see it much in iRacing. It's a hit and miss, but what does this high humidity do to these trucks?
Well, not only does the high humidity put a little bit more moisture in the air, of course, that's what humidity is, so there's going to be a little bit moisture on the track then. When the air is holding water, it's going to have water inside that air that you're going to be on top of the racetrack, and it's going to be, perspirating on that surface. So that's what they're going to have to deal with, and also a little bit of horsepower loss due to the air being less or more thin, as it really is being taken up by that humidity in the air of all that water. So we'll see how that affects these trucks. Right now, 3 wide back there. It looks like Ali Fonseca on the bottom below John Forbes. Trenton Jump, some strong contenders, and they're getting close, Robert. They're really utilizing those side drafts, and that's where things can get a little bit mixy.
Oh, most definitely side draft. It's a good thing to use, but you also got to be very careful that you don't run into the guy that you're trying to side draft. And, this is an internet-based game, and you get a little bit of warp or, things like that with the internet connection there, Zach. It can turn into a good thing to a bad thing. But as we're watching right now here, Danny Cochran was up there in the front, and he is starting to fall back a little bit now. I wonder if he's trying to save or something's just going on with that number 2 machine as he's running a patriotic scheme here tonight. As this is 4th of July, the day before the 4th. So, happy 4th to everybody out there watching.
It is cool to have this race on July 3rd for sure. It's going to be getting ready to be here July 4th very soon here in the next few hours. So, yeah, Independence Day. Always cool to see the schemes that come out. And, yeah, Danny Cochran right here. Like you said, trying to drop him back here now in this 4th position. Looking to maybe go the spot to TJ Crampton on that inside, but he fights back. But it's really a logjam from there on back because it looks like our top 2 have kind of driven away slightly, as it could be a tire saving mechanic there, Robert. When you're trying to slow down like that, it's tough though, because look at this pack here. This is some hungry drivers. You got Matt Dyer from last week having a great top 3 finish there at Las Vegas. Now he's up in the mix trying to go forward in the 28. And that's the great thing about this racetrack. It has so much character, but also with that character comes tons of lanes. This place, you can get almost 6 wide down the front straightaway and back straightaway.
Oh, most definitely. As we're watching Matt Dyer there for a little bit, trying to work his way through the field. He's up 2 positions as of right now. But the biggest mover over the race right now is going to be Trenton Jump right now. As, whoa, look out. Oh, man, no, Steele almost lost it there, Zach.
Almost lost that machine. Is Matt Dyer there gathering it up for himself. As though to Ryan Crofa, he's looking to push forward on the bottom lane. Is really right now, this is what we're going to see for the majority of this run, Robert. I really don't think we're going to see too much separation. The draft is so powerful with the lower horsepower of these trucks, the high downforce they create, but with the giant hole they put behind them, this draft is just so powerful that we're going to see these packs racing each other like this throughout the whole entire run. Now, the equation that comes in that's very interesting. 35 laps here for stage number 1 tonight, where they're awarded points from the 1st position all the way back to the 10th position for bonus points here tonight. So that's critical. But the critical thing with that also is we don't know if they're going to be good on fuel. A lot of people were saying in the draft, in these packs, they should be able to do the 35 laps available for that stage. But you got to remember, it's 35 when that stage caution comes out. You got to get back around for a 36th time to get the pit road. That's going to be the concern for a lot of drivers. They're going to be focusing on fuel here early, and maybe that's a little bit what the 2 is doing. Save a little fuel now so you can use those, save the tires, save the fuel, and use those for later in the run.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because if you don't, this is a 2-mile track, ladies and gentlemen. So, once you hit that lap 35 and the stage comes out, you got to have enough fuel in that truck to go, 2 miles around the track, at a slow pace. Now, granted, you can clutch and everything and do that and try to save, but you are absolutely right. That might be something that Danny Cochran's doing, falling back, saving a little bit of fuel, and you can also save a huge amount in the draft. So, you run that draft and you use three-quarter throttle, give or take there, Zach, and be able to save your tires and your fuel here. But right now, like you said, man, we are just stacked, packed house, truck on top of truck, 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide. Mark Whitley trying to figure out where he wants to go down the back stretch, as we're still 3-4 wide.
And Mark Whitley, one of the big movers here in this 77, he's really working his way forward up on that very top groove is that 77 machine there. And, in front of him, though, it's going to be 4 wide for a moment. Somehow they make it through. I think Ryan Crowfoot there was the truck that got loose on the bottom and had to skirt up top. And now 4 wide even in front of him here. As you can see, I mean, this place just, it opens itself to this type of racing. And it's been action-packed so far, as Ryan Crowfoot luckily held on to that and was not our first caution of this evening.
Yeah, that was a little sketchy there for him, but like you said, he did save it, so that's a good thing. But we're still watching Noah Steele. I don't know. I'm starting to watch that number 8 machine there. He's stuck in the middle. He's been stuck in the middle for the past 3-4 laps, and he's trying to figure out how or even just get out of this. But no, now we're going to go 4 wide as we got Ryan Bird on the top side. Oh, Jesus, hang on.
Everybody trying to hang on to these trucks, and Noah's still the interesting thing there with Robert bringing him up. As you can see, everybody just looking to hold on to their positions. Is this 3 wide, 3 deep almost there for a few moments as Noah's still holding on to it. But Noah's still a winner here in the past here at this track. The one time we've came to Auto Club here for ISRC, he is that past winner. So this is going to be fun to see if he can get back there and try to get the victory lane and get that second win. But right now, they are mixing it up so much that I'm kind of worried these guys might run into some trouble here at some point.
I think so here. We're 11 laps into this 90 lap event here tonight, and I do think eventually here, Zach, that they might run into a problem here because these tires are starting to get a little dicey. They're starting to get a little loose exiting out of here. Now we're going to go 4 wide, 3 wide. Man, we're going to be saying that all night. 3, 4, 4, 5, 5 wide. And they're going to go down 4 wide. And look at Ryan Crowfoot almost into the 17. Nope, now he's going to go almost duck down low. Oh, my goodness. I think I'm going to have a heart attack.
It's definitely getting wild, as you can see right there, still holding on to it. Dyer around the outside. What a move to hold on to that as Dyer goes around the top side. The 8 holds on to it, but it just causes more of a stack up. I mean, you got guys like Nick Crawford now from that penalty trying to bounce back. He's driving up through, and it's just creating more havoc here from really this 11th position on back, or sorry, 10th position on back. And this is just at the end of this, the row for stage points.
Yeah, just the end of the row for stage points, like you said here, Zach. But man, oh man, these guys, like you said, you're watching Nick Crawford now. He's moving from all the way in the back, moving up, and that's just what the draft does. And then you get so far into the run here, you're starting to lose your rear tires. The tires are heated up. They are now at maximum pressure here, as we're going to see Ryan Crowfoot bump that number 11 machine just a little bit forward here. Man, they just don't know where to go. We also got Tyler Dingler here. He's looking at trying to bounce back. Look how the draft just goes, Zach. If the truck in front of you loses a little bit, you could get stacked up and gobbled up with like 5 to 10 trucks.
That's the thing with this traffic here. It builds up so quickly. If you have to lift, or you say you just get, a little bit of turbulent air on that nose and you have to lift more than you want, the momentum loss is so great. And all the other drivers are really just, using that draft to utilize the pull up on you. It really creates some big runs and some moments that really stack the field up here. As you can see, again, another move being made. Looks like that's the 39 there. Joshua Freed, he's trying to dive to the bottom side of the 8. Now he goes down to 3 wide. You can just see they're able to go all over this 2-mile racetrack. Wow. And this is the one thing I love about Auto Club is you have the availability to move around this place. And right now, this has been some of the most crazy racing I've seen here in a long, long time. They're stacking up again, 3 wide up ahead of them.
We can't keep up with all the actions, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying this action here tonight with the ISRC Truck Series, make sure you hit that like button on YouTube and subscribe for more content and more action here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But like you said, Zach, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. And, we'll go up here to Matt Dyer now. He's up here looking at trying to pounce on Mark Whitley, but he did that amazing move on the outside, and he said, I'm out of here. I don't want to deal with that pack back there.
Well, that's the tell of 2 different things here. You can get stuck back in this pack back here and be in the mix of that 3 wide, or you can be Matt Dyer that made that very valuable move to allow him to catch up to this front pack and really be able to separate himself, because you're seeing the separation right here off the back bumper of Matt Dyer. Him and Ryan Bird right now fighting for that final position in the stage are about a second. Right now, about 8 to 9 tenths ahead of that group. As again, that group back there, they just continue to be side by side, as it was almost contact there between Ryan Bird and Matt Dyer there coming off of turn 2. I believe the 49 just coming up the racetrack just a little bit into the 28.
Yeah, almost up to, Ryan Bird almost up in there. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking, do not adjust your screen. There is a lot of fog and humidity in the track, and I know it's kind of weird to see that the trucks is kind of looks really white. So it's not your screen. Don't be adjusting your screen or your computer screen trying to figure out, why is my color not right? This is what we're seeing on the track here, and the humidity is just it's up there, which we can bring up the weather, I do believe, here, Zach, and see right now the humidity is at 94%. It looks like so it's nice and cool, 65 degrees, and the track is 84 degrees, partly cloudy. So with that partly cloudy and 94%, humidity, that's high humidity.
It really is. It is a lot higher than you normally see here on iRacing, that's for sure. And that's what's caused this different look for the viewing here is this Trenton jump right now in the 46 machine. He's made his way all the way up to the second position. That 46 has really been climbing through the field, up from the 12th starting spot all the way to second here. And right now he's got Crampton, right in behind him. But Kanada's been the one that's been out of this picture here in the 16. He's kind of had the lead and held onto it. And I'm not terribly surprised by this run from Kanata. Thinking back to the past race we had here in season 4 not so long ago, he was a driver contending with Cedric Hunter to win that race late into the event while we got a late caution that really changed everything up that allowed Noah Still to win. Kanata was one of those drivers fighting for it. And look at this though, now Crampton, the 72 showing some life here. He's looking to make the move to the inside here and get the second position and try to run down Kanata himself.
Yeah, he's look like he's going to try to do it by himself, and Danny Cochran's going to stand on the high side. You can also see going down that backstretch, going into turn 3, these trucks bounce. The track is extremely bumpy down that backstretch, and it really can upset the truck there, Zach.
It definitely can. This track is a very, very old surface, one of the oldest surfaces that iRacing has scanned. And that is the character. I talked about it earlier. That's really what gives this track a lot of different feel from your normal 2-mile racing surface that, it's usually pretty smooth. This place, you can see as they head down the backstretch here with the onboard view, you're going to see it's just up and down. And it's just the way it's hard to explain to the folks out there, but your steering wheel just has so many feelings in it when you're going over those bumps of just wanting to rip the wheel out of your hands, but you got to do the best to stay straight over those bumps to try to continue to drive forward.
Yeah, and that's most definitely what you just said there, Zach. Every driver runs different force feedback, different wheel. So, watching it on screen going down, and you can see the wheel bouncing around, but that's not the telling sign, ladies and gentlemen. You don't realize how much these guys are holding on to that wheel. And, depending on what your force feedback is, it can be a really bumpy ride, in the cockpit. Racing this as we have a yellow out. First one of the night here, Zach.
That we do, and it looks like Austin Halsey, he's one of the drivers stopped on the back stretch along with Blake Hoppy, as it looks like those two involved in a major incident. It looks like more than just those two involved in it, but it was kind of the catalyst there was the 31 and Austin Halsey also in the 4 machine. So we'll get an instant replay here queued up and get to see maybe what happened here on the back straightaway to bring out our caution here on lap 21. And remember, still looking for that lap 35 stage. This will take all those worries of fuel out of the driver's thoughts. Now the question is going to be if they want to come to pit road. So we'll have to see once we get this instant replay shown what the drivers elected to do here for decisions, whether to come down pit road, get tires now, and get fuel. But let's see how this incident came here to be to bring out this yellow as they're coming off of turn number 2. Austin Halsey, that truck right there in the middle lane, you'll see he's got Tyler Dingler there on the outside of him, and it's going to be the 31 of Blake Hoppy who's going to come up straight into the 4. Probably just didn't think the 4 was that low on the racetrack with the 19 being on his outside. Maybe didn't know they were 3 wide. Comes up, clips that Ford truck, and that sends him in front of Tyler Dingler. Eric Stamp gets involved with it, and that's a tough hit there for Tyler Dingler in that 19 machine. And this is an important race for him as he's really, looking to have a good night. It's he's got a special scheme. He's got a scheme that is, commemorating his father's birthday. That is today. So happy birthday to Mr. Dingler. And hopefully your son's truck is not too bad so we can see how that works out. But that replay showed a lot there, Robert.
Yeah, we'll watch here again here, Zach. I do believe, the number 4 tried to stay off of the 53 there. He did come down a little bit, and the 31 came up a little bit more, and unfortunately, Tyler had nowhere to go. And then you can watch the 29 of Logan Brakey go down. There goes the 1 going by, 23 going by, and that's one thing nice about Auto Club. You got so much runoff here, Zach, that them 3 trucks right there, if there wasn't the runoff and the walls were there, they would have creamed and been done. But you know, we have runoff here, which is good for the safety wise of the drivers here in the sim.
That it really is. That runoff allows them to not get in trouble. But as the drivers have all pit road, got their service done, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. We're going to try to get some things fixed up here in the booth, see if we can get them right and get things back rolling here before we get our stage closed out here for the first part of this race here tonight at lap 35. It's been a wild one up to this point here for, you know, the first 23 laps of this race have been all over the place with drivers 3-4 wide, but you're not going to miss a thing. We'll be right back here in the next few moments, folks. We're going to commercial.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Zach said we were going to come back with fixing some stuff. Well, that was bringing me into the booth. We are back, and sadly, we're under that of a caution break. For once again, our second caution flag is going to be thrown, and we're going to be getting the instant replay on the reasoning why. Only was able to go green for a slight moment. Fresh tires, slick track, and Zach, just like that, we got another yellow out there.
That we did, Sam. It was such a quick moment that happened, and I think this is something that a lot of drivers, when we see what happened here, a lot of drivers expected to see this. From when I talked to them tonight, they had a feeling that cold tires were going to cause issues, and people were going to step out loose on these really first 2 to 3 laps. And you're going to see here Tyler Horn on that outside groove in the 26. He's going to step out sideways. 53 Eric Stamp here, nowhere to go. He's just going to clip him. And then that's going to spin him around when it hits the right front. And from there, I mean, Eric Stamp's just sliding around, trying to hold that truck out of the outside wall. And that's just a tough break there. It's just cold tires catching a driver out, and then another driver getting the full brunt of that.
I mean, just one of those incidences where for the 53, nowhere to go, but collecting even more damage. As we see another look at this incident. Again, it's the 26 on the outside who's going to break loose, just trying to save it at that moment. Like, it gasses it up, spins around, and Away they go. And luckily, it was just the rear end that was collected with the incident. And Zach, hearing from a lot of the drivers, the damage model, this 53 is still going to be in the mix to watch out for.
He very much is. That is the one thing that has changed a ton with this damage model is it was not very forgiving in the previous one. If you got a crinkle in the fender, you got a broken fender that just put a little crack in it, or just a little bit of just weird damage to a quarter panel of a side of a door, you could be very, very slow on the straightaways. It would just be something that you couldn't get fixed all night. You'd get the optional repairs done, and you come into there, and your truck would just be slow, and it would be kind of frustrating to deal with. And luckily now with this new damage model, they've done a lot better job of it impacting it in the right ways. And I think Eric Stamp, due to the hit he took, I think he should be all right. It doesn't look like the rear end is too bad. And now with this new damage model, it seems to fix the truck to a better state also than what it would previously. So we'll see how it works out. I know Matt Dyer last week, he had some good damage on the rear end there that, you know, possibly could have affected him a little bit at Las Vegas, but he had a great run. So it's definitely doable to come back from and very forgivable.
Well, touching on that of Matt Dyer, 28 Machine, the only driver under our last caution to not come into pit road. He's going to stay out once again. Everyone else out in the field has already used a set of tires as well as packed themselves full of fuel on the last yellow flag that came out. Eric Stamp topping off with damage and fuel. The same for Tyler Horn back out there on track. One driver that's happy that we're going to be seeing this caution flag for the second time. It's Kyle Rochelle, who should be with this time down to just 2 laps down, as he's excited to get back on track. And also showing up late, and it's going to be 26 laps down. Chase Schaefer going to be out on track. And Zach, we know that 99 can be fast, like we've seen these last 2 weeks.
He's definitely got speed. That is something he did not lack at Las Vegas and at Daytona. So, and also aggression. He didn't lack that. So I think that fits in well. And right now, 27 laps down, we'll see, you know, what does he do when he gets out on the track? Does he try to make some of these laps up? But really the only thing he's here is to get some decent points and maybe coming out here with at least something, because coming in here to tonight, he was 4th in points. So it's important for him to keep that stature up there and try to, you know, mount his run towards the playoffs. Because again, with tonight included, we're only 9 races away from those playoffs. It's crazy how fast this will happen. You got to have a good start if you want to have a good finish, in my opinion.
And every point mattering. I think that's also going to contribute to that Matt Dyer staying out. He gets that lap-led bonus point, and up front, Trenton jump TJ Crampton as Joshua Kanata has fallen back to 4th position. They'll be starting on the outside lane in the 2nd row. Danny Cochran going to be also back in 5th for the 2 Machine, who got our pole award for that of the Orchid Moon Tattoo Studios qualifying pole award. Congratulations again to Danny Cochran as Trenton jump. TJ Crampton, green flag is out, and the drivers are ready for more action for the Dilla 250 here at Auto Club, as drivers already thinking about 3 wide down into turn number 1.
Oh, they're thinking about it. They're doing it. They want every little spot they can gain. I mean, we've already seen almost 5 wide at some moments so far, but it looks like everybody's going to keep it somewhat civil here through turn number 2. But as they go down the back straightaway, as the runs build, there's going to be more and more moves made. As Trent jumped, he's been able to jump himself out to the lead after that 12th start position. This is looking great for Trent.
Jake Crampton trying to hold off on the inside. Joshua Kanata, better run. Watch out for the 16, understanding how impactful that clean air is. And Danny Cochran, knowing the fast driver, following suit as the 2-16 bump draft their way to move into 2nd and 3rd position.
Big moves being made there. They know how vital it is, like you said, Sam, for that track position, and they're fighting for it like it looks like they really want it. As Crampton almost up into Cochran, luckily keeps it off him, and they keep it straight, but there's a truck low there and slow coming off of turn number 2, and he's losing a ton of spots. But it's Mark Whitley, the one that's really starting to make the shine up here, up to the 5th position after starting 21st. Mark Whitley, he needs a huge night here, Sam. Looking at it coming into points, 25th, and we know how fast he is and how strong he is, but you got to get some, some momentum rolling here, and it could be the start of it tonight.
I mean, the 77 most winningest driver in ISRC Larry Art Productions Truck Series history books. He's hoping to get into that win column very quickly. And if you look at last season when they were at this track, 77 had the most laps led of current drivers running this season. So the 77 hoping to make this pass clean, but he doesn't have the draft nor the momentum, just gets in line, at least aiming for some good stage points, as we are 5 laps away from the stage being done.
That's the big thing right now. 5 laps away from that stage, and every little point matters. We know how much it does. These drivers are going to be willing to risk a lot here, I think, coming down to the end, especially the ones that put the tires on. Someone like Matt Dyer, he's just trying to stay out of the way back there in the 28 and really drop through the field as best of his possibility, because you don't want to be involved in something here saving a set of tires. And you can see right now he's gone from that lead position now back here almost outside the top 20. It just shows you the difference in tires, but he's going to have more options and more opportunity available to him later in this race.
Yeah, I mean, having that extra set, watching drivers that missed the starting grid of Kyle Rochelle, he was running almost a full second faster than other drivers just by having a 4-lap advantage on tires. So drivers going to be hoping for any type of advantage, so watch out for the 28 later on. Here's the 34, Ryan Ferraro, 18th position. 3 wide action. Logan Brinkey as well as Mason Cassidy. 3 wide, coming across the line, almost going to be at a 4 wide with a 34, trying to pick his nose.
Oh man, John Forbes there on the bottom trying to make it work. The 34 up top, the 17 in the middle. Looks like Forbes is going to come out of this well, but it's going to be him and Ferraro side by side on lane exit as they split the 17 and Mason Cassidy out as they come out of turn 2. But now the 17 is going to think about a run possibly on the 11, and that's the situation you play. If you don't make the pass on the bottom like the 11 didn't there, he's going to be in trouble of a run from the driver heading down the back straightaway. And now it looks like even the 17 is going to get passed here by Blake Hoppy, who was involved in that incident. So a little bit of a rebound here from some drivers right at the fringe of the top 20.
Needing a caution to come out, but one driver that's happy it didn't. For the lead, passing and being done, it's Danny Cochran, pole sitter, now trying to get to the lead position with 2 laps to go before the stage is done, hoping to maximize, find some good luck, as he has been struggling since last season to have a good finish. But Trenton Jump, great crossover move as they head down into turn number 3.
What a stage win can do for a driver is gain confidence, and that's what I think Danny Cochran's going to be looking for. Is he's going to have a good run here off of 4. Jump really did a great job to come off of 2 and have the run down into 3, but here Cochran looking inside down the front straightaway. What does he elect to do? He made the move on the inside here before and had cleared him, but just didn't have the run down the straightaway to hold that number 46 machine off. Is behind him, the 72 of Crampton. He is fighting Mark Whitley tooth and nail here for that 3rd spot, and then Joshua Canada, the early leader of this race, he's trying to fight back up there.
And the 3 machine of Anthony Gaudio, his debut race of season 5. Good to be seeing the 3 back out there on track, and he is doing a fabulous job sticking it close with these drivers up front. Trenton Jump all the way down to the white line, hoping to lead at the line itself. Again, it's once we see 10th place come across, then that will be when our yellow flag will be thrown. And they're 3 wide back for 10th place. But Trenton Jump will take that win for the stage, and he'll be our 2nd stage winner of the season. As Chase Schaefer could not defend. Oh no! And there's contact, and oh, TJ Crampton! Danny Cochran wreck! Right when the yellow flag came out, contact between the front runners, and Danny has a blown engine.
Oh man, Sam, I watched that unfold. Cochran threw a bit of a block on the 72, and I think that made him upset. But to go and intentionally wreck him here after the stage break-ins, that was just not very smart.
Oh my goodness. You don't see that very often, especially after season 2. There was a lot of intentional wrecks then, but this is one of those moments where, I mean, it looks blatant, Zach, once we see the replay here between the 2 and the 72. And Danny's out of this race. I mean, again, was looking like he was going to have a great run to get back into this race and get some good points. And at least he got stage points, but that's it. As this is what brought out, after the yellow was thrown, what took out the season 3 champion.
We'll see here. The 72 runs up to him, bumps him initially. That puts Cochran in the wall. He's going to come down off the wall, hit him. And then I don't know if the 72, just lost it trying to overcorrect and not spin down low. And I mean, just right hooks. I don't know if that was, right hook just trying to come back across and hit the 2 because the 2 bounced off the wall into him. But yeah, just a lot of anger there shown and a lot of, ill intent for such a small incident coming to the stage. I mean, you can show your displeasure, maybe, give him a little bump, a little love tap there coming around the lap, and show him some love over the voice chat. But to, do that was just very blatant and downright surprising, Sam.
A head scratcher for sure, as we've got the 21, both with required damage. As Kyle Rochelle's going to have to come to pit road. TJ Crampton has been given a black flag as he will be sent to the end of the line, but who knows if he'll be staying, and the race admins are going to have a discussion about that one. But a bizarre moment as drivers now enter pit road. That is our stage, as it's going to be seeing Trenton Jump winning the stage break. We'll talk to the 46 in a quick moment as drivers are exiting out of pit road. Wow, I still can't get over. That is something we haven't seen since season 2, Zach, of drivers intent wrecking at this type of I mean, I can't even say that. Season 3, when we saw Ethan Smith and that, as well as Trenton Jump, getting into one another.
I mean, my mouth is wide open on the floor right now. I still kind of reeling myself back in here saying, did that really just happen? I mean, just wild scenes here, Sam.
And TJ Crampton has parked it. He is out of the race. Frustration mounted over. His race is done, as well as the 2. Well, let's talk to a driver that maybe is on a completely different note than those that just got caught up in that mess. Let's talk to our stage winner. Gonna be the 46 of Trenton Jump. Trenton, it's Sam and Zach up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you win the stage looking very quick. Man, how are you feeling after these first 35 laps?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm feeling pretty good. I qualified 12th and didn't really expect nothing much of it. Kind of just stuck it on the outside on the start and just kept running the wall and just kept passing guys. So got the opportunity to get up here and ran hard for the stage. So feeling pretty optimistic.
Yeah, gotta feel optimistic for sure for yourself, for sure, Trenton, man. But I tell you what, heading into this, the runs seem very, very big, and like you said, the outside line seems very strong. How do you feel you're gonna need to position yourself to hold these guys off?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to take it easy from here on out, avoid the wrecks, avoid whatever's going to happen. There's some hot heads in here now, so yeah, just try to finish the thing out, get some good points, maybe try to win here.
Oh, we're hoping to see that happen, Trenton. We'll send you back to your team, and good luck to win here tonight.
Yeah, have a good night, boys.
Well, that is going to be the Armadillo's Motorsports driver, the 46 of Trenton Jump, Season 2 champion. And Zach, I would have to agree, there are a couple of people seeming to have a hothead mentality at this moment. But they seem to be out of this race now, with Danny Cochran now done. TJ Crampton is out. Chase Schaefer, who we talked about, was hoping to get into the race. He has actually called it a night after being too many laps down. And we're now down to this Zach of a handful of others that we've seen do some wild blocks.
That we have, Sam. This is, some, like you said, some territory we haven't been in since season 3. And yeah, that was bizarre. Those ones I feel like had a lot more build up. That was I think just a moment made TJ Crampton a little back and say, yeah, I got a little bit too upset and let my emotions get the best of me. But we'll see how it shakes out. Right now, Martin Morales is going to lead us back to green.
Martin Morales didn't have the stop that he wanted, but don't know if he made it into his box with 1. Going to be the first driver out and up front. Watch out for how he's going to attack this restart. Into the restart zone. And Martin Morales, Trenton Jump, lead the way for the Dilla 250 here at Auto Club. One with a pretty decent launch for himself, as they will stay side by side down into turn number 1.
Great launch for sure from Trenton there on that inside line. And now look at this. Martin Morales just getting swamped. The 16 of Kanata going by, the 77 of Martin Whitley. Next will be Nick Crawford, who, gotta say, great job from him from starting from the rear of the field with that penalty from last week. He's really starting to climb his way through.
Penalty of ARCA breaking into an incident in which cost him qualifying attempts and had to start at the tail end of the line of the DOL. Climbed his way forward and now up to 4th place. He's having Nick Crawford now trying to tail end and connect with 16 of Joshua Kanata, who we know can be quick. As the rest of the field fanning out, 2 wide, 3 wide, and for the lead, Mark Whitley getting a little bit antsy on Trenton Jump's back bumper.
He is not wasting time here. Mark Whitley knows how good he is when he gets out front. And I mean, starting from 21st, he's shown so much muscle here already in the first 41 laps to get here, and now going to be looking down the inside on the backstretch. I don't think this is the preferred spot to be in, because we could see a crossover here happen quickly if the 77 is able to clear, and down into the corner looks like he will.
Able to clear, and for Mark Whitley, this is the first time he's been in the top 10. It feels like for the majority of these first 2 races of the season. Race 3, give him a lap lead. Mark Whitley up front and where he can be the most dangerous. Clean air, but hold on a second. We got a wreck and drivers in the grass.
Oh no, drivers backwards in the grass here too. And looks like Martin Morales maybe was that one going backwards through the grass there. Oh man, just a little bit of a hiccup here on the front straightaway from two drivers. I think just kind of, going for the same area on the racetrack is what I would say. So tough ordeal here for Martin Morales, especially someone who was, I believe, on older tires, just didn't take tires during that last pit stop. But yeah, this is tough to see for Martin, especially after last week, Sam. I mean, involved in that incident, coming down for the win with him and GT on the white flag, and this week now backwards in the grass.
And watch out for the third driver on the outside. That's going to be the one machine of Martin Morales. Goes a little bit too high to the outside wall. Has to overcorrect and gets right into Ryan Bird, who's the middle driver, trying to get by, and more contact being ensued as the 149 and the 8 all have a little bit of fun in the grass.
Yeah, this is, luckily for them, looking at the trucks too, they're not too damaged. It looks like actually everyone got out of that pretty well with the new damage model, and they're in still decent positions. The one that I will say that got the worst of the damage, that was the innocent bystander in the collision there as he rolls away from Martin Morales backwards, is Ryan Bird. Looks like his truck a lot more right front and left front damage, but hopefully with this new damage model, he'll be able to get that somewhat closer to being fixed up and be back in there with a chance. As Morales, somehow, luckily for him, his truck's pretty much clean on the nose.
Looking good. Just a couple of scrapes. Look at that since then. This is real-time speed. That second contact with the rear bumper for Martin. That's where the damage to Ryan Bird was given. As they'll just let the car gradually come to a stop in the grass and then take off. Is the one machine. Expected to see Martin come into pit road, get some tires, as well as damage repairs. Ryan Bird is doing the same for himself. Surprisingly, Noah Steele, who got a little bit of contact from that incident, he will stay out on track, keep in his track position.
That's good for Noah Steele there, who, again, was our winner last time we were at this racetrack. So he's going to be looking to possibly do that once again, as he's, again, the only driver ever to win here in ISRC history. As they've only been here surprisingly one time, which that was one thing when I was going to look through the stats. I was like, wow, we've only been here to Auto Club once, and it was the past season. So the first 3 seasons without it, but now 2 seasons back-to-back here. Looks like maybe these drivers are learning how action-packed this place can be in these trucks.
I mean, this truck on this track, I think those first couple of seasons, there's a lot of, well, the aero package can make this difficult to race at this track. It's going to be hard to make passes. And they said, you know what? Auto Club in real life, most likely never going to be ran at this same exact course ever again. So let's put it on the schedule and have some fun. And after last season's spectacular race and seeing Noah Steele get his first ever career win in the ISRC Truck Series, they thought about bringing it back for another season. And I like the fact that they brought it back. This is a fun track. And I know when you were calling Zach with Robert in those first 20 laps, that was the most chaotic it's been so far here tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to get even more chaotic than that due to the fact we've just hit the halfway marker.
I completely agree, Sam, because I feel like also it kind of comes down to like that lap 15 to 20 marker of the run where the guys really start to get packed up and really start racing hard as the tires start to wear. So we get a run like that once again, we're going to see, I think, all that 3-wide action it was definitely a mind-boggling situation there as me and Robert tried to keep up with all of it going on. I think for a few moments we saw it go 4-wide, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that happen a few more times. And again, that's the amazing thing about this Auto Club Speedway, is it is so wide for all the racing. You can really put your truck in any spot you want to try to make up ground and make up those passes on the drivers ahead. So we'll see who can get it done, but looks like right here when we come by to start this restart, Sam, we're going to be just past halfway.
Past halfway and ready to see who will tackle the win here at the Dilla 250. Also want to give some more shout outs to the amazing sponsors, the Orchid Moon Tattoo Studios. They were our qualifying grid sponsor. Go to Instagram and look up Orchid Moon Tattoo Studios to check out their wide selections of tattoos that you can find. They've got that of full colored custom tattoos as well as prints, painting, stickers, and more. Go head over again to at Orchid Moon Tattoo Studios, all one on Instagram, and you can find them quickly as well. Stage sponsor is Team Watson Racing Setups. They are the official sponsor setup for our road courses that we'll be heading to as next week, and that of Canadian Tire, our next destination for these drivers. Can't wait to see how the drivers attack that of the road course, but first, we got to see if they can tackle the 2 miles here at Auto Club, as it's the Dilla 250. We're back to green flag action, and Mark Whitley gone, dusted, away from Trent Jump already.
Wasting no time, and also Trenton Jump wasting no time to jump up in front of Nick Crawford, who has made his run up to the front. That is so impressive to see from him. I mean, the first 3 drivers all started outside the top 10, and 2 of them outside the top 20.
And other drivers that were outside of the top 10, Christopher Norris as well as going to be Cody Reed, all inside of the top 10. Cody Reed with an incident, interesting thing. He had to work on his pedals coming into this night at 25. Wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to race. Currently in 9th position. Good run for himself as Mark Whitley up front leading the way. And Zach, this seems to be the comfort zone for the 77. Where he finds himself going to victory lane is being up front, but behind them, they're going 3 wide. It's going to be Christopher Norris, Noah Steele, and it's going to be that of the Malik Kuntz in the 98 to the inside lane, trying to hold steady, and they will as they cycle back. Oh no, never mind! Tap! Noah Steele holds it straight, but overcorrects and collecting more drivers.
Oh no, big hits there for multiple drivers. I think Anthony Gaudio spun around in the 3 there from that incident, and it's just a chain reaction event right there that really brought that all to a head. And man, some big hits there. John Forbes involved in it, multiple contenders, and last season's winner here, Auto Club, just getting bitten by that little bit of loose sensation that you get on the start of these runs. And I'm not surprised, Sam, when you got drivers that close all around you and that stacked up, we're going to see incidents just like this one that happened here.
More drivers involved with bigger wrecks, and just the overcorrecting aspect going back into the field is the most dangerous thing. We're hoping that you won't be making these mistakes, but this is what brings out yellow. Watch out for the blue and black machine. That's going to be Noah Steele and Malik Kuntz right behind him. Small tap that gets the 8 loose. Everyone's trying to whoa up, but there's not enough time, and the contact is made, but it's the overcorrection back into John Forbes that gives the most damage.
Oh, man, yeah, the overcorrection is definitely what caught Steele off. And, I mean, he's trying to save it from a bump from the 98 machine there of Malik Kuntz. And, oh, man, last season's winner spun around here. And just heavy, heavy hits for a lot of those guys. I mean, Forbes, he's got the meatball flag where he's out, going to have to get that truck required damage repaired on it now. As John Forbes definitely not liking how that price situation played out. But that's all it takes is a slight bump. You're already a little bit loose, and when you get those bumps, it is just, you're pretty much hanging on at that point. And still, like you said, Sam, made the unfortunate decision to try to save it. Sometimes it's better just to lock it down to the inside. But in those split-second situations, you can make that mistake of trying to save the truck when you think you can, and it just overcorrects when those front tires grip up, and you just go straight veering across the racing surface.
I mean, just difficult for drivers to handle at moments, but this is what happens when you come onto a track that is completely, I mean, the trucks just themselves are momentum based, but this course is so much more based on momentum, and we are seeing some major contact and wrecks being shown. Well, as this is going to be another massive wreck, we are going to actually step aside for a second commercial break as we're at the halfway marker. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining with us. We will be right back to give you more coverage of the ISRC Lariat Productions Truck Series, race number 3 at Auto Club for Dilla 250. As we're going to go side by side, we'll be right back for more racing action right after this. wrecking, they're splitting, and it's a complete mayhem.
We have a wreck at the front. 19 goes down into the 7, takes out the 00.
They're 5 wide behind for fifth. Oh my, the 5 wide here, this ain't gonna work, is it? They're already wrecking into turn 1, and now coming through that of turn 2. This is it, the Daytona. Oh no, the wrecking contact. Sets gets into the wall. Gonna be scattering on the outside. Drivers on the apron. Drivers coming out of nowhere. Edison on the outside trying to get the win. And it's William Edison stealing it at the line.
Into the wall. The 18 trying to block. 77 to get into the 18. That leaves 3 of TJ Roberts. 17 to Gavin Rogers. 3 of TJ Roberts is gonna steal the win here.
He went second fiddle so many times last season. Christopher Wade wins the season 5 Daytona 200. And we are back. Didn't miss anything. We just went green, and it is Trenton Jump. Mark Whitley leading the way up front. Other drivers making the charge. Few taking tires and fuel. The first driver, watch out for Matt Dyer in 15th. He's going to be trying to be quick to pass all those that did not come into pit road. But up front, still the hot drivers to watch out for. Trenton Jump, Mark Whitley have had a couple of interesting wrecks come out here tonight, and ready to give you all the action to take you to the end of this race. My name is Sam Dyer. Joining me is Zach Hall. We had Robert Moyer in the comms as well as running production here this evening. Zach, what a wild night it's been, but it ain't over just yet.
It ain't over for sure, Sam. We're just past halfway, and we've had lots of different things happen. I don't know. Noah still got disqualified, so I'm trying to figure that out maybe a little bit, but yeah, it looks like he got disqualified while we were under commercial break, and you can see this field. I mean, they are racing it up already. It's the first, group here of about 7 trucks is broken away, but from that 8th position on back, I mean, they're going 3 wide, fighting for every little thing.
They certainly are, and one of those is the 28 of Matt Dyer, who is who's the only driver that decided not to pit twice, once before our stage break, and then at the stage break utilized tires. Instead, the 28 waited until later on to use this set, and this last caution was the go button, so watch out for Matt Dyer, who's now cracked the top 10 of the 9th position. But up front, Mark Whitley not feeling the urgency, it looks like, to take the lead position, but Nick Crawford in 3rd might be feeling that. Oh no, the wrecking behind, the second pack, big one. Gonna be Tanner Johnson involved with this one.
Oh no, Tanner Johnson there involved, like you said, but looks like he's gonna be able to keep it out of the inside wall, luckily. But caution here already on the racetrack again, and looks like similar conditions to what we've seen before is, drivers all over this racetrack. And when you have drivers all over the place, you're going to come across ones that are in the spot that you want to go for and just kind of come up into them, or they come down to you. And that's when these incidents happen. This side-by-side racing is leading to a lot of contact being made and a few yellows being thrown here.
And was just given a report on what happened in Noah Steele to get him disqualified under yellow flag, intent wreck into the 98, but this is what brought out our yellow. Watch out for that of Johnson as he's trying to hold his lane and just not able to hold steady the inside, clumps up, gets clipped by Tyler Horn, and away he goes.
Tyler Horn into a second somewhat incident like that tonight, where first time he got loose coming down to somewhere that time and just 2 lines coming together, and Tanner Johnson here trying to lock it down and make sure nobody hits him. And as soon as he gets it straight, he's going to let it go so he doesn't try to hit that inside wall. And luckily for Martin Morales, the 23 luckily slides by him slowly as he's able to get past him here and not have any issues getting by him, as we'll get another look here of how it came down. As you can see Horn there in that middle lane, and it's going to be Tanner Johnson way down low as this is from a couple car lengths back. It looks like Horn maybe got loose again there, Sam.
I mean, it just seems to be difficult for these drivers. I know for some, I believe for Horn, he just took another set of tires at the time of that incident. So getting loose, cold tires, once again, striking, as it is just, it's difficult out there, Zach. I know with this new, with the drivers dealing with the bumps. That seems to be the major thing for some of them that's getting them unsettled and the center off. On top of that, drivers just being upset with the way that they're running this race.
It is, I mean, is it a full moon tonight? What is out here for sure? I mean, you know, going back to even the Noah Steele disqualification thing, I mean, you know, looking at that, again, just something similar. Under caution, a driver coming up to another driver intentionally wrecking them. And, you know, you want to get your displeasure out there, but man, this is pushed over the limits, and the admins had to step in there and do their thing. So, wow, it's a bit of a wild night. We've had this happen before in ISRC where we've seen tempers flare and intentional wrecks happen, but I don't think we've had 2 in one night.
No, I'm trying to think back, and I don't think we have seen 2 in one night. And with the intentional wrecks that we have seen, we could be also seeing 1 race suspensions being diced out in the next week at Canadian Tire, where some of these drivers weren't feeling the most confident at that track. So instead, they're just chalking it up, saying, I'm just going to get my aggression out now instead of worrying about it in maybe 2 weeks at Dover or 3 weeks, 4 weeks at New Hampshire and Darlington. Certainly the schedule is blossoming up to tracks where you usually could see drivers try to get some retaliation at, but instead wanting to get that frustration out immediately. And this is causing some drivers to have their nights being closed early or having so much damage that they aren't going to be competitive moving forward, as we still have coming up to 30 laps to go, a little bit over 30 laps once we go green.
And one thing that's played out pretty interesting in my book is you have Trenton Jump here who stayed out. He has 19 laps on this stint. Now, a lot of these have been under caution pacing, but then you have Cody Reed, Tyler Dingler, and Anthony Gaudio, who are the next 3 to stay out, who have 8 laps on their set of tires. And then Matt Dyer will lead the drivers on the first, just to come recently out of pit road, along with Nick Crawford, Mark Willey, Joshua Kanata, Christopher Norris, and Joshua Free for the top 10. So got some mixed bag of strategies right here. This is getting down to crunch time, and still cannot make it on fuel yet, I believe, as these drivers are still just going to be about, actually no, they actually are going to be close now, Sam, with where this is played out.
Going to be very close. And looking at some of the drivers, majority of them that came into pit road, 4 tires and fuel. Matt Dyer going with a 2-tire strategy. The first time I've seen anyone tonight think about that strategy. We'll see how loose the 28 will be on this restart. It's going to be some of the patriotic schemes up front. Trenton Jump, Cody Reed out of the patriotic schemes tomorrow, 4th of July, Independence Day, and drivers wanted to pay their respects. They're going to have some fun as it's time to go back to green flag action for Dilla 250 here at Auto Club. Trenton Jump sticking to the white line and already clear of the 25.
Out to a good jump there. We'll see when do the new tires start to have their effect, as Trenton Jump's going to be able to drive in the 1 here very good and hold on the pace. But how long before we see someone like Nick Crawford, who's up 3 wide, making the pass there to try to get himself up into the 3rd position? How long will it take the new tires to fire off?
Trying to stay up front the best that they can. New tires. Will it be maybe in 2 laps they finally start to show their strength for Trenton Jump? Over 20 lap older tires compared to Nick Crawford and many others behind. Cody Reed just topping off on some fuel. 25's got to be careful as here comes that fresher rubber. Nick Crawford's showing his momentum as he sets up into turn number 1, but they're 3 wide, back for 4th place.
That they are. Kanata up top in the 16. He's got Tyler Dingler, Anthony Gaudio right in the middle of it. Here comes Mark Whitley trying to follow Kanata through on the fresh tires, and those older tires starting to slip back. Gaudio and Dingler definitely feeling the brunt of that, as now it's going to be Christopher Norris up top, and now even Matt Dyer on those 2 tires going to try to go on the outside.
It just seems like for Anthony Gaudio, really held up by Tyler Dingler. Dingler on the slightly older tires than everyone else and dealing with the damage. It's just holding back the rest of the field as they are still stacking up side by side, 3 wide, back for even 11th position. But Matt Dyer, Anthony Gaudio, they'll stay side by side as we've got 31 laps to go here at Auto Club. And Christopher Norris, Nick Crawford, Zach up inside of the top 10 for the both of them after having to start at the end of the line at the start of this race.
That is great for Snowy Does Racing. They're wrecking big time in the back here. Looks like multiple drivers involved. Tyler Horn, one of them that just got some major damage. I noticed he lost the front end, but it happened directly ahead of him. It looks like Austin Halsey involved in it here in the 4 machine to bring out this yellow in the 7th one of the night here, Sam. It's been a lot of yellows here in the mid portion of this race.
It certainly has been. Last time they were here last season, 7 cautions was the most that they had, and we thought there were a lot of cautions during that race. We hit our 7th on lap 61. Eric Stamp, Austin Halsey going to be the big ones to watch out for here, Zach, as this was a nasty collision for the both of them.
That it really was. This is a big hit, and this is where you get to see some of that damage model come into fruition here. Is it's going to be on that outside line. It's going to be Austin Halsey losing it. Look at that right front in the front bumper just breaking off that front end, as now he's going to have multiple drivers coming in from behind. The 53 Eric Stamp goes around, and look, here's the hit from Tyler Horn trying to make it through the middle, and that's going to destroy his front end also. And, man, just multiple trucks very, very hurt from this one, and right in the middle of the pack. And now the question is going to be with where this caution is even played out. How is the pit strategy and all strategy is going to unfold? But you get to see another look. This hit is very heavy.
Eric Sam trying to hold, just wasn't able to. Lost Halsey in a massive collision. As Eric Stamp gonna have to just putter his way around. As we're going to be seeing Austin Halsey require damage after seeing his bumper be sent off. And Zach, looking at the field, looking at the laps that are left, they should be good on fuel, but tires are now the most interesting thing for majority of this field, because some drivers deciding to use their final set, some setting up to decide when they want to take that final set. And it's interesting to see the decisions that are being made here tonight.
It really is. And you got someone like Trenton Jump, who I think had to come down from where he was at. Now he's going to have the advantage of the tires, but he's going to lose track position. That's going to be the one big loss for him, because I feel like here he couldn't keep staying out and hoping that it would, any chance that it did go green, he would be out of fuel at some point. So he needs to come down and get fuel. That's what brought him down this time, but lost its on track position. We'll see if the tires will be able to make that difference up. I believe we really only got about 4 to 3 laps there up to speed with those tires for the drivers up front. And personally, the fall off is not too tremendous. It falls off a good bit at the beginning, and then it kind of evens out. So we'll see how much the advantage is for Trenton Jump. He's already driven his way through the field once from starting 12th up to the lead. But we'll see. Can he elect or try to do that once again with some fresher tires?
Try to make his way forward the best that they can. Well, as we're waiting to see drivers get ready, as the pace car lights are about to click off and get us rolling here, I think, Zach, it'd be fun for us to try out the cricker up once we get rolling. But before we get to this next restart, what is something that you've noticed so far in these first 62 laps that has been the biggest surprise of the night for yourself that you didn't expect coming into tonight?
Personally, the biggest surprise for me has been just the runs you can get. Like, I personally have raced these trucks myself. I know very well how big the runs are, but it seems like they're just a little bit bigger here tonight. I don't know if the conditions are just perfect for that. The grip level's high, so they're able to get those good runs, or the grip level's a little bit on the lower side where guys are making mistakes and those runs are exaggerated because drivers ahead are having to check up that little bit. So the runs have been huge. And so far, the other surprise, I guess I could say, is the aggression and the anger and the temperaments that came out. But hey, when you get racing like this side by side and this close every single lap, you're going to have a few drivers upset.
Certainly have been. As you are watching the ISRC Larry Art Productions Truck Series. Larry Art Productions, the title sponsor of this season for the ISRC Truck Series. If you'd like to go watch some great comedy and variety YouTube videos, go check out Larry Art's Production on YouTube and all social medias to get yourself some great content and get you through your day. It's Cody Reed, Nick Crawford, that Mark Whitley going to be your front runners with Joshua Kanata, Christopher Norris, Anthony Audio, Ollie Fonseca, Ryan Crowfoot, Joshua Freed, Mason Cassidy, your top 10. Pace car pulls off. They head into the restart zone. Get ready. Let's crank it up for a few laps here at Auto Club. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Got to see a couple ride-alongs, getting the feel of what it's like to race here at Auto Club. And up front, it's the teammates swamping and swarming. Mark Whitley versus all of Snowy Desert Racing practically. John Forbes no longer out on track, but his other three teammates up front in the top four. It's the 77 versus Christopher Norris, Cody Reed, and Nick Crawford. Zach, this front four looking a little dangerous, but Trent Jump is on the charge.
That is. Trent Jump is soaring up through. And right now, Christopher Norris, he's trying to show that he's got the points lead for a reason, and he made the Final Four for a great reason also because, man, he is starting his season here in Season 5 off right where he left it. But look who's coming. It's the 46 and Trent Jump diving to the bottom side.
Diving to the inside lane, trying to hold and get by. Already has gotten by the 74, of Nick Crawford. Now attacking Cody Reed. So Mark Whitley's taking the lead position. Christopher Norris willing to be aggressive on these pushes, but up high, staying and losing ground. It's Cody Reed losing a ton of momentum on the entry of the corner, and he's about to lose about 2-3 spots. Has to be careful on the exit of this corner.
Momentum loss is huge there for Reed, and that really caught him out. Luckily he's going to get the draft now down this front straightaway. He's able to pull back in line, but can Reed fight back? As now Trent Jump tried that bottom lane. He's going to look up top though here and try to make the pass on Nick Crawford, who looks a little bit loose there through the middle of the corner, sideways for him as they step off a 2. But it's going to be Jump up top, pulling along with that outside line draft.
Outside lane seems to be the first spot to be here late as we're closing in to 20 laps to go. Mark Whitley, Nick Crawford, Trent Jump, your top three. Christopher Norris starting to fall back on the outside. Slight contact. Trent Jump holds on for the 46 as a slight clip by the 38, and they keep it straight.
That was very, very close to being the end of Trent Jump's race. Luckily, he's able to hold on to that machine, now fight back again to the inside of Christopher Norris. And I don't know if he just wasn't clear and it just was a little bit of contact or just had to lift a little bit that caused that contact. And luckily holds on to that machine, but he's going to put a heavy side draft here down the back straightaways. Those bumps, when you get that close to each other, sometimes you hit that bump wrong. You can see the truck left or right, and that's where them side drafts like that close could end up in a very bad fashion down the back straightaway. But here they come off 4 once again. Jump got those fresher tires, but it's just, you can see passing on the bottom is tough to do. You really got to clear that person because now down the front straightaway, when they're side by side with you, the side draft pulls them back, and that draft also just builds up runs.
Crawford down low, trying to take this lead position from Mark Whitley. Take the clean air, but the inside just not strong enough. And the outside lane draft is going to hold the 77 for the lead as the laps continue to tick away. 20 laps to go. And can Mark Whitley get himself back into the win column, or can last season's champion be the first ever previous champion of a season to get to victory lane? It's been the championship curse, and the 74 wants to break it here for Season 5.
That curse is going to be broken at some point. Will Nick Crawford be the one to do it? Is going to be the question for sure in his mind. Is last week winning that stage in Las Vegas, it did not play out his way. After that, had some major hiccups that we normally don't see from Nick Crawford. That's why he got a penalty also heading into this week and really had to come back from that. But our champion is known to fight, and he's right now stuck on that bottom lane. It looks like that 46 just pushing the 38, who's going to have a big run heading off into 3. He's going to dive to the inside for the lead.
And once again, another fight, and Mark Whitley holds steady as he exits at turn number 4. The 77 will keep the lead, but Trent Jump willing to use the bumper, trying to just woo the 38, pass our leader if possible. But will there be any late passes or a bad bump? Easily could see a mistake happen here with everyone stacked on top of one another. Just one bad bump, Zach, that could be it for this whole entire lead group.
And I'm telling you, that bump can happen so fast. Everybody's fighting for the top lane. That's why you're seeing them stack up and push each other up there. They know if you dive to the inside, that outside is just going to stream on right by you. So right now, everybody's waiting for that moment to really be able to make moves once it spreads out a little bit. With it this stacked up, everybody is checking up when we get to the entry of the corner not to run each other over. That's when the inside line can get pretty good. If you get those checkups on the outside on entry, that allows the inside to drive it in deep and is able to maybe clear. And Christopher Norris takes a look here in the entry, but it's just going to think otherwise. But we're going to see at some point here, in my opinion, into one, or especially into turn 1, there's going to be a major stack up.
trying to make their way through if possible. Tonight it's been a tight one. Who is going to keep this lead position? Mark Whitley holding steady for himself. But man, has it been a tough one. These drivers up front, there's a few of them, part of a MoCast 5. That's Christopher Norris, also Austin Halsey, John Forbes, Noah Steele, Joshua Kanata. We have lost 3 of those drivers. It's just Christopher Norris, Joshua Kanata. If one of them wins here tonight, they will find themselves earning $25. And Zach, that's a lot of motivation for the 1638 that are both in the top 5.
Big time motivation. And look at this. Everybody just training up top. This right here tells me everybody's switched into the mode. They know it is go time here, and they can't give up track position. They need to keep every spot available to them. They're trying to look for that one little crack or crevice just to get by that driver on the outside, or that opportunity where someone slips up and you're able to drive it into a corner and clear them. It's going to be tough, though, with this train forming up top.
Drivers that are willing to try to make a move. Ryan Bird showing a nose, which is tempting. Joshua Kanata, Nick Crawford, they're going to be poking the nose to the inside. Crawford taking the advantage. He will send it to the inside lane, going for a slide job move, trying to go for the 2-for-1. He's got to hope that his teammate maybe gives him some space, but side by side with the leaders, Nick Crawford, and here we go. It's go time for these drivers. 15 laps to go.
Everybody pushing in. Ooh, jump just, fit that truck into a hole that was literally the size of one of these Truck Series trucks, and it just gives a bump to Nick Crawford there in the corner. The aggression level is picking up each and every lap, and here comes Ryan Bird on the bottom in the 49, the newcomer to the series this season. He's trying to make a name for himself.
And other drivers that are still attached to this group, out of Ryan Crowfoot, the last driver in line, top 9 in this pack, as well as Mason Cassidy. I haven't talked about him very often here tonight. Ollie Fonseca still in the mix here. Top 9 drivers, watch out if they can try to make a move as well, banking on taking the lead now from Nick Crawford, who slides by Mark Whitley.
Great maneuver from Nick Crawford. That is something we haven't seen done many times tonight, is a pass on the bottom there, sliding up in front of the driver, and he's able to get it done. That's huge for him right there, is now he's going to have control of this field, and Trenton Jump, he's going to be that driver in third, trying to make something happen. But here comes Mark Whitley, trying to fake a move to the inside, and look at the great maneuver back to the out, to the quarter panel, able to side draft the 77, or the 74 from the 77, and that really helped out Mark Whitley to fight back on this outside. I think he's going to have positioning off of 2, but it looks like Crawford going to clear him.
Crawford keeps the nose ahead as we get a little bit of a top view of how these front 3 are going to be attacking into this corner. Mark Whitley hoping to give a slight bump, maybe have the spacing. Instead, he'll back up early, trying to set up for the exit of this corner as Nick Crawford keeping the high momentum. And this is a huge setup heading down in turn number 1.
That it is. We'll see Nick Crawford here. He's going to try to break the draft here, but cannot give up that outside green, in my opinion. You got to get back up there before the 77 gets there, but the 46 with the shove to the 77 is able to get to the back bumper to 74, but it checks up everything. Now Bird to the middle, and it's Christopher Norris on the bottom there. Everybody's going to have to find a way around. They all know they have the chance to win this race just with how the drafting is, but right now you got to find your way to the lead. It's tough to do when it's this stacked up.
And everyone's hoping if you make a dive bomb move to the inside, hoping to do a slide job, there has to be an opening to slide into. Ryan Bird looking for the opening, and it wasn't there. Losing the momentum. That's going to fall back to Ollie Fonseca as everyone tries to get in line, and Ryan Bird gets hurt the most off of that. Just one move, losing 2-3 positions.
That is the thing. If you go and make the move at the wrong time, everybody on your outside just takes advantage of you, and they just go around you on the top, and it really makes things spiced up. But it's getting spicy here, as you can see from the 17 of Mason Cassidy. He's trying to dive to the inside here, 3 wide on the bottom, but also up front, the 77 Mark Whitley. He's got passed by Trenton Jump now, and it looks like maybe even Christopher Norris trying to make a move for third on Mark Whitley, so he looks like he's fighting there. Can Trenton Jump, though, utilize those little bit fresher tires here to get past Nick Crawford easier than anybody else has?
Joshua Kanata giving a little bit of blessing. Thank you, Christopher Norris, for holding up the 77, is now the 16. That purple machine hoping for a slide job move instead. Bounces the outside, trying to follow the lane that Trenton Jump's been running. Practically up against that blue wall is where the 46 has been carrying a lot of this momentum that has set him up to the inside. 10 laps to go, and Trenton Jump, the freshest of tires up front, trying to take the lead position. He's got the nose, and give him the lead for Trenton Jump.
What a drive down into the center of the corner, but can Crawford cross him over? Here they come off a 4. Not enough of a run, but he's going to get to the quarter panel, actually. That'll pull him back and slow him down, and this is what you drivers from Christopher Norris on back want. They want to see these two races side by side. That allows them to build up the big runs and possibly get up to them. Can Crawford, though, clear the 46 here down in the 1?
For Trenton Jump, he's hoping to get himself back into a good momentum swing after the aggressive driving the last 2 weeks. This 46 is hoping to just keep momentum for himself. Nick Crawford trying to beat the championship curse that happens at the season after you win a championship. Usually every single bad luck that can strike usually tackles in the 74 from all the way back to last place to battling for the lead. Here tonight, it took 82 laps, but it is still not over. Other drivers to watch out for: Ollie Fonseca, Joshua Kanata. They're hoping to somehow get by Christopher Norris so they can have a chance to race for a win here this evening.
This is getting a little bit spicy here with Fonseca started getting into it. Kanata starting to come forward, but Nick Crawford unwilling to give up, keeps diving it to the inside of the 46. It's not working, though. That 46 is getting just good enough runs off to where he clears him down the back straightaway and doesn't allow that 74 to side draft him, and that is what Trenton Jump has to do. He has to make sure he gets good runs off the corner, not allowing these drivers to stack up behind him. But I will say that Snowy Desert Racing team building up some teammates here to try to work together, maybe to build a run on this 46.
Hoping to have a little bit more assistance if possible. Joshua Kanata, part of Revline. They're supposed to be an allied team, but Christopher Norris is putting on a couple of blocks for third place as Trenton Jump pulling away. Now the gap 3/10 over Nick Crawford. And the 46, Zach, I got to say, he's done a great job preserving those tires as everyone else has been working. And oh, no contact. Ryan Bird gets slightly tapped by the 24 of Ollie Fonseca to keep it straight in the 49. Continues to hold on after bad bump after bad bump.
Big stack up there off of 2, calls that, and Fonseca was the relief valve there, and unfortunately Ryan Bird got the wrong end of that stick. Luckily everybody keeps it up here into the drafting range, but it's Trenton Jump. He is starting to drive away, and I think Nick Crawford, he is going to need some help from these drivers behind, but Christopher Norris and Kanata fighting so hard for this position, it's not allowing him to catch up. Trenton Jump, though, driving into the sunset.
Strategy was the key last week on making sure you had the fuel to make it to the end. Tonight, it was tire strategy. Caution flag loomed, and it threw out perfectly for Trenton Jump to have the better tires, the better strategy to come into pit road when everyone else decided to stay out, giving him just the slight advantage of 6 laps, and it could be enough to keep the 46 for a win as they come across the line. 5 laps to go here at Auto Club for B Dilla 250, and what a race to win, having your team sponsor the race and to get to victory lane.
That would be amazing to see for them. And you know, I know the reward for this is, look at this racing though. This is amazing to see here between Fonseca and Bird coming off the corner, and Cassidy, all these drivers right here in the mix. But if you win this race, supposedly you get to be a Dilla for a day, as they were saying, for a race, and you get to join their team chat. But I guess if you're a team member, you're already going to be there.
You're already going to get there and maybe get a special scheme from their graphics member that gets all their graphics set up, of that being colored teal graphics. And I know these drivers, they were hyping it up, say, hey, do you want to be a Dilla? You got to win and get your own Armadillo Motorsports scheme as well. Get to be racing with them in their chat next week or whenever the next race you're a part of. And next week being a road course, it might be a very impactful race because we know Trenton Jump can be quick at road courses. As drivers heavily blocking once again, Christopher Norris, Zach, I gotta say, this 38 having 0 regards to the other drivers. He knows he's locked into the playoffs, so he's willing to block and defend as much as he wants.
He is really the logjam here in this, and you can see Mark Whitley, he's starting to fight back here on the inside, and contact between Norris and Whitley there. That's going to be almost a wreck, and Whitley's going to not save it.
And it's also going to be collecting the 16 of Joshua Kanata. Kanata's going to stay in the grass. No yellow flag is thrown because they're off the racing surface. Take it back. Yellow flag is out. And we are now heading to overtime.
What a moment there on the front straightaway. And I think that was a little bit of contact between Christopher Norris and Mark Whitley that started it all off. Two drivers looking maybe to get the draft from the driver ahead of them, and they come together in their paths. And Mark Whitley and Joshua Kanata get the worst end of that there. Whitley tried to save that, but that is hard to do at those speeds on the front straightaway with very limited banking.
Limited banking, and it's so late into the race where if you let off just by half a second, you're giving up so much time that you are not going to be able to fight for a win, let alone the best finish you want to grab. So everyone's still at full song, and that is what's going to bring out a late caution that's going to officially send us into overtime for these drivers. As we're getting the replay up, this is what brings out our caution, our late caution to send us into overtime.
See exactly how this played out right here, and you can see just trying to hang on to it. He got on that transition in the apron, and I think that's what upset the truck even more. And from there, Kanata really nowhere to go for him. He's just going to run to the back of the 77 of Whitley, and this continues. Whitley's just bad luck this season, just hasn't had a good run up to this point, and that can start to stack up. I think he's going to be plenty safe when it comes to playoffs. Don't get me wrong, but you want to be able to get your momentum going as early as possible in the season so you can get that ball rolling for those playoffs. But you can see the collision to the inside wall. That's going to hurt that truck slightly. Luckily, not too much damage there, Sam, on Kanata or Whitley's, but the track position loss is just monumental.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is that track position loss. As we get back to live coverage, drivers all sending themselves into pit road to get tires and fuel. Majority of the field still has 4 sets of tires to work with, as they are going to be getting their sets. And Zach, we've seen fresh tires get these drivers so loose. This is going to be a very chaotic restart, let alone on the fact that it is going to be potentially the last restart of the race.
That it will be, and I think we've had some strategy play out here, Sam. Looks like I think the 74 and the 38, they both, I believe, have taken 2 tires. I don't know if a few others has. Looks like maybe Cody Reed also has. And Ryan Crowfoot comes out in the 4th position. Maybe he has also. So right there, some big change-ups, and Trenton Jump's going to go from the lead back to 5th.
Trenton Jump's going to be the first of drivers to take 4 tires. Then Mason Cassidy and Ryan Ferraro both took 2 tires. Ryan Bird's going to be the second driver that took 4, and he's all the way mired back in 8th position. Oh, this restart's going to be fun with the amount of drivers that took 2 tires. This is going to be either the best launch that you could ask for or some of the biggest slipping and sliding, because Zach, 2 tires on a track that already makes you loose on the start. This is going to be a handful on this restart.
Well, I'm hoping those drivers took no fuel, Sam. That will help the balance for them a little bit. If they take that weight out of that rear end from wanting to slosh around that tank and kind of centrifugal force pushing them around from that fuel in the back of the truck, they'll take that out. That will help tighten that truck up just a tiny bit for them and help them out when it comes to that balance. But we'll see what's going to take off speed there. As the thing here is Trent Jumps in 5th. Maybe you were hoping more drivers would try this strategy. I think this is going to be a close one, especially with how many laps it's going to be to go. I mean, it's literally going to be a green-white checkered, so only 2 laps you got to get it done. This very well could work. I mean, it's just going to depend how they fire off with these tires, and they're very old lefts. These are not, slightly worn lefts. These left side tires are pretty much, full-blown worn out almost.
Yeah, and you go also on top of that, I mean, these drivers, they haven't had a restart in a while, but all the restarts have been quite aggressive. Trent Jump, I mean, how aggressive is he willing to be? A few other drivers up front dealing with some damage that they, for some, have been able to get fixed. Others haven't. And this is the best opportunity to be going for a win. Thank you so much for joining with us here tonight. This is our first attempt at overtime. If you've never seen an overtime attempt before, this is how it goes down. These drivers, when they go green, they're going to have 2 laps to finish out this race. Under the first lap, if a caution flag is thrown, we will restack them and give it another try for our second attempt. But if we get the white flag to the 1 to go marker, this race will become official. No flag will be thrown except for the checkered, and it's all about crossing the line first. Who will go for the win? Potentially expecting some beating and banging to get you to at least the white flag. Could we see a wreck to go for the win? It's time to find out, as it's Dilla 250 at Auto Club. Pace car is off into the restart zone. The ISRC Larry Art Productions Truck Series is back underway here at Auto Club.
Great start from Nick Crawford up top as he took that outside lane. Let's see what happens. Trenton jumped the first truck there on 4 tires. He's able to get clear there in the 5th position. But will he have enough time here as they head down to 1?
Down into turn number 1, there are going to be 4 different lanes being utilized. Trenton jump, trying to find the one that's going to give him the best momentum out of the corner. Cody Reed gets slightly loose, but it's Nick Crawford, and oh no, they're wrecking behind as our first caution comes out of overtime, and Joshua Kanata, slight tap to the inside wall.
Oh no, Kanata involved in another one here real quick after that last incident. And it looked like it kind of happened up ahead of him. I believe Martin Morales was the truck that became the catalyst in this yellow flag here to fly and bring us to our second overtime of the night. And you know, I think with the longer this goes under yellow like conditions like this, the more it's going to help out for actually those 2 tires of Nick Crawford and Christopher Norris and Cody Reed, because and Ryan Crowfoot, as those left sides cool down a little bit, it'll help even out that balance just a little bit to be a little bit better than what it possibly could have been with those hot left sides. But we'll see how it works out. But Trenton Jump didn't gain those spots either.
Yeah, he was only able to use back in 5th position. Still trying to figure out how to hold off the other drivers. Ryan Ferraro losing a couple of spots. He's dealing with some front end damage. Everyone else pretty much where they were when we got started, which, no surprise, it takes about a half a lap before you really can utilize the momentum off the exit of the corner. Most of the drivers were still in 1 and 2, and we're kind of log jammed on the inside. Nowhere to go. And Zach, we stack up, give it another try. Our second attempt at overtime will start in a few laps as the drivers are ready to go, but they have to be patient for the pace car lights to turn off.
That they do. You got to be patient. And oh man, this is nerve-wracking feelings. I can tell you from the driver's standpoint, when you take 2 tires, you're out there just questioning every little bit of strategy call you made. You're like, this is marginal on the side of it working, and we'll see what happened. It did look decent through 1 and 2. I do think that these guys looked a little bit like they didn't have as good a takeoff as that 46. I looked back there, and he seemed to really be cutting through the corner, was almost looking to overtake one of those trucks on 2 tires already. And that tells me that if he can get 1 truck, per corner, he can win this race. So that's got to be his plan here, is to get 1 truck per corner and try to get up there to battle for this win. I think the one thing that could hurt him, if they line up on the outside and they don't give him draft, he's going to be in a tough position to make passes on the bottom all by himself.
I mean, these moves are about to be very dramatic on who's going to make what swipe, as everyone's stacked up behind the pace car getting ready for the 1 to go marker. That's when the pace car lights turn off. If you are just joining us, well, welcome to the show. We are under our second attempt at overtime. First half of this race was probably the most drama-filled action you could ask for. We had 4 or 5 wide at moments. Drivers, we had 2 separate intentional wreck moments happen under caution. And we are down to this moment. The 2 drivers that are up front leading this race, Nick Crawford, Christopher Norris, they both had to start at the tail end of the field. Both had penalties because of last week. We're not able to qualify, had to start with an EOL, and now they're leading the way with 2-tire strategy call. Adding with them in the 2-tire strategy call is that of Ryan Crowfoot and Cody Reed. The first driver with 4 tires, that's Trenton Jump, who's been leading the majority of the second half of this race. And Zach, it's almost go time for a second attempt at overtime.
It is almost here, Sam. It's lights are out. This is when the nerves kick in, and you're just saying, let's just do it on this attempt. Because I will say, like, the more attempts that we have, I do think it does help on the tire situation for the guys up front, but I don't think it helps mentally. The more time you have to sit there and weigh out all the options that you have as a driver, you are definitely in the position where you're saying, well, what could go wrong, and that can easily spiral out of control, and you can put yourself in some dire situations. So we'll have to see how they elect to play this restart out, but right now, points leader Christopher Norris, we know he's got to win. He's locked in. He's got nothing to worry about. But his teammate Nick Crawford, he wants to break that championship curse of winning a race than the season after winning a championship.
Season after a championship, usually the worst season the previous champion has ever had. The 74 hoping to break that curse. Christopher Norris trying to carry the momentum that he's had since the playoffs happened last season. And for Ryan Crowfoot, to get his first ever win. Cody Reed looking for his second career win. And others looking for a historic run. Pace car is up. Our second attempt at overtime is back underway as they enter the restart zone. Be a Dilla 250. And it's all Nick Crawford. Great launch for himself. And the 02 of Crowfoot. The better launch from Christopher Norris.
That inside lane did not get going, and that hurt Trenton Jump just a little bit. That allowed him to, slide back a few spots. But it's Christopher Norris fighting off the bottom here. They come off of 2. Nick Crawford leading the way, and it's loose for Reed. Those 2 tires are biting right now.
As he's going to slip and slide all the way to the inside, watching out in this Trenton Jump, sliding into the inside lane, not able to have the run that he needs to get up to 3rd position. If we get the white flag, this race becomes official as Trenton Jump, fresh tires, trying to make the charge to catch up to Nick Crawford, but he gets loose, boxed in. It's the laugh lap, white flag. If you want great memes and enjoyable flow, oh no, I take it back, caution, we're going to a 3rd attempt.
And there's a truck backwards heading down the front straightaway. I believe that is Logan Brakey in the 29. He was looking face first at his teammate Eric Stamp, and just 3 wide action coming off of 4. And I believe maybe Matt Dyer involved in this one too, as the 29 loose off of 4 into the 28 up on the outside groove, and really know where Matt Dyer could go. That was just the 29 getting loose and coming up into him and bringing out that caution to put us into a 3rd overtime attempt. Sam, this is and now jump up the 3rd. This is a tough situation if you're the drivers up front with older tires.
But now the mind games, right? You have to settle in on where you want to be. For Nick Crawford, he could try to count down with his teammate of Christopher Norris and restart on that of the inside, the outside, wherever the 38 is going to be. Trenton Jump, he might have to follow behind where Ryan Crowfoot restarts.
I think if you're Nick Crawford here, Sam, I think you have to go outside. You have to. You cannot restart in front of that 46 and allow him to go when the leader launches. You want to make sure you're timing that with your teammate Christopher Norris and just trying everything to hold him back. I mean, if they're able to line up on the outside together as a team, it's going to be tough to beat if you're Trenton Jump. But the grip he has through the corners is really helping him. This is going to get into some white knuckle racing right here. These drivers are going to be grabbing onto the wheel as hard as they possibly can, and Trenton Jump knows the odds, are good when it comes to tires, but the odds are against them with the drivers that are up front here, because it seems like, with Christopher Norris and Nick Crawford, also Revline having Ryan Crowfoot right there, that is Snowy Desert Racing and them's Alliance team. So you got 3 people here who should be somewhat looking out for each other. Trenton Jump right here is going to have to go through the team.
He certainly is going to. And where do you boxed in? Can you make an aggressive move to make sure that you're not boxed in with the other drivers? That's going to be the key if you're the 46, but he's in 3rd. Not the worst position to be in on this restart, as this is going to be our 3rd and final attempt, as we don't get to our 3rd overtime attempt very often, but the rules are slightly different from our first 2 attempts. This is the final one. This is our last restart of the night. If a yellow flag comes out on the first lap of this restart, that will conclude this race, and where the drivers will finish is at the timing of the yellow. And if we find ourselves getting to the white flag instead of the yellow, this race will run under green, and it's all about who crosses the line first. I know, Zach, we want to see this race finish under green, but if you're Nick Crawford, you might want to bank on that yellow flag to come out early to solidify your win.
Yeah, this I tell you, this is going to come down to a driver that's going to be willing to put a lot on the line here, and we've seen Nick Crawford. He got better at that. He really did it last season. At the end of it, he was able to really do moves that we didn't see him do early in the season. We felt like he was kind of getting shoved around a little bit and wasn't able to, muscle his way in there. He really started to do that later in the season and put more on the line. I think that's what kind of changed for Nick Crawford and pushed him into that top dog situation that he's been here lately with ISRC. He's definitely been, in my opinion, the most consistent driver. But right now, he's got to get them elbows out. He's got to get a good restart. He's got to time it well with his teammate here of Christopher Norris and try everything in their power to hold that 46 back, because those 4 tires, they're going to be coming, and you can't even look too far behind that. Ali Fonseca's there, Mason Cassidy, Ryan Bird. If some of these guys slip up, the runs we've seen are huge. And like you said, too, if the yellow flag flies, we could see that happen where it brings the race to an early conclusion. So anything is possible here when it's the final green-white checkered.
We got 3 drivers in line with fresh rubber of 4 tires on the last time given to pit road, which was 10 laps ago. Trenton Jump, Ollie Fonseca, Ryan Bird, all going to be behind the 0-2 of Ryan Crowfoot. And all those drivers kind of hopes for a good finish, are banking on the 0-2 having a great launch, or will he stall out the top lane? You got the teammates, that of Nick Crawford, Christopher Norris, hoping for a good launch. Pace car is off. The Dilla 250 is about to get her last restart into the restart zone. The 74 already launched and going. We're green, and the 74 is gone.
That he is. Great start from them. That also got Trenton Jump stacked up behind Ryan Crowfoot, Christopher Norris, Nick Crawford, the 2 Snowy Desert Racing teammates, to the lead here off of 1 and 2. But how long can they hold off? Jump, though, having a tough time here off of 2.
He's not able to get by that of Crowfoot, and Crowfoot is doing a great job with the side drafting. Other drivers going 3-4 wide deeper in the field. Again, if we get the white flag, this race becomes official. But if we get a yellow, it is at the timing of the yellow on where the drivers stand on who's going to finish where. Nick Crawford leading the way, feeling confident for himself. Trent Jump hoping to get some type of angle to get by the 38. He'll get right on the back bumper, but not able to get the pass. It's going to be the flap, white flag out in the air. This race is official. Here we go, Zach.
Here it is, down in the 1 and 2 for the final time. Christopher Norris side by side with Trenton Jump, and look up top, Ali Fonseca working that groove. But here comes the run with the 4 tires. Is he going to have enough here down the back straightaway?
No blocking from the 74. He's just going to bank on the fact that he's on the outside and hoping for a better run. That a Trent Jump. Going to have the better momentum to the inside. The slide, going to have the slide job for himself. Ollie Fonseca hoping for the momentum. The 74 needs a fantastic run out of the corner. It gets loose. Trent Jump with the lead for now. Here comes Ollie Fonseca. But no, Dilla wins a Dilla. Trent Jump wins.
What a job by Trent Jump there. Had to fight for everything. I mean, literally starting that last lap, I mean, he was in the 3rd position. He had to make the move down in 1 and 2, had to run off of 2 on Nick Crawford, and it all worked out. The 4 tires played out. Nick Crawford ends up 8th after the 2-tire strategy call. You can't hate it too much from them for going for it for the win right there, but what a job. It's just showing that 4 tires was possibly the way to go.
I mean, Trenton Jump and the whole entire Armadillos Motorsports team put a risk out saying, hey, if a non-Armadillo driver wins, you can join us up with our team in the next race or whenever you join in the next one. The risk, don't have to worry about it because the driver taking the reward is Trenton Jump in the 46 machine, already a part of the team and getting his first win of the season and getting to have some fun to burn it down. The whole entire Armadillos crew going to have some excitement for themselves. So 46 burns it down.
Burning it down. Yes, he is getting to celebrate an early win here for Trenton Jump. This is a good sign for this 46 machine. If he's winning races, that usually means he's going in there and competing for a championship. So this is a great way to start his season and already the 3rd race. And I'm sure we'll see a few more times this truck doing this same exact thing.
And as the 46 gets to burn it down, we'll be back right after this. Trent Jump, Ollie Fonseca, Christopher Norris, and a special guest will be joining us up in the booth. And Zach, I'm looking at the results. Tyler Dangler with his happy birthday dad machine finally gets a top 10, counted as a top 5. The 19, congratulations on that one. We'll be back for a post-race show right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-race show of race number 3 for the ISRC Larry Productions Truck Series for Dilla 250 at Auto Club. Well, there was rewards out for a non-Armadillo Racing Motorsports driver. If they won, they got to be a part of the team, but that's not the case. Let's head over to Victory Lane to a driver that's already part of the team, Trenton Jump. Congratulations on grabbing your first win of Season 5. Man, how are you feeling after that one here tonight?
Dude, absolutely freaking ecstatic, dude. I don't know how I pulled that off. I don't know where the speed came from. I don't want to race this track at night ever again. It's terrible. I love it in the day, dude. It's fun. Oh my god. I just want to say hats off to everybody that was racing up front, that was racing clean and racing hard. We about wrecked probably 15, 20 times, and we just didn't. We just kept going and kept racing so hard. That was one of the best races I've had in this league to date.
It definitely was a show, Trent. I tell you what, yeah, I gotta agree with daytime races. They're the way they go, man. No more nighttime races if I had to pick. But I tell you what, man, that decision there to take 4 tires, I think was a no-brainer for you coming down. But when the other guys started to come out and taking 2 tires, what was going through your brain?
I mean, honestly, I wasn't worried about it. I just needed to get past, the 4 trucks in front of me, or at least the 3 trucks in front of me to get to Nick, and I'm pretty sure they're all affiliated on a team. So it's 1v4 there. So it was difficult, but the cautions definitely helped. I mean, it kind of equalized the tires, but I just did the right moves at the right times, and I'd done it earlier in the race, and our tires were all worn out, so I figured it would work again. And I think the tires had got past the point where they weren't cold anymore, so I wasn't getting loose. So I just kept the confidence there. I didn't kick myself because what do you know? I'm leading and pulling away in the final laps, and here's a mysterious caution again. So I didn't kick myself too hard on that, and I knew I had it. As soon as I took the lead, and I was pulling away, which nobody did all day. So I knew I had it.
You certainly did look dominant once you got that clean air. And Trent, we're now heading to a road course where we've seen you be very great at whenever we go head to road courses. How are you feeling confidence-wise as we're heading to that of Canadian Tire?
I'm feeling good. I love road courses. I did some laps there a couple weeks ago, and I'm kind of glad I won now because I don't have to rely so heavily on practicing all this week for it. So, but yeah, I'm still excited for it. Kind of coach my teammates through it and hopefully find them some speed. It's a rough, it's a slick track. It's tight, it's fast, it's all of the above. So, hopefully we can get them guys up to speed and get them some solid finishes.
Well, that is going to be your winner here tonight of Trenton Jump. Trenton, congratulations. And now the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, just want to thank you guys at Freaky Fast for broadcasting steel. I love going back on weeks where I run well like this and win and get to go back and watch. Want to thank my painter Justin at Justin Teal Designs for painting this beautiful truck for the 4th of July. It looks amazing. He did one for Logan. Want to thank my teammates at Armadillo Motorsports: Noah, Logan, Tanner, Eric. Tanner actually raced tonight, so that was huge. And I want to thank everybody for trying to be an Armadillo, but just didn't have it this week.
That it did not. That is your winner here tonight for Dilla 250. Trent Jump, congratulations, and good luck next week.
See you boys next week. Happy 4th of July.
You too. That's the 46 machine. As we go from the lead, let's head to second place for that of Ollie Fonseca, the 24. Great run. Fresh tires allowed him to make the big moves at the end. And second place is his. Ollie, congratulations on second. Man, how are you feeling? Because it seemed like it was chaotic out there on track.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy there at the end. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm kind of kicking myself. I was 4th before all the overtimes happened, and I came down pit road, and I was just really aggressive on hitting my box. I just barely overshot it. So that was a hole I had to dig myself out of. Thankfully, I kind of made up for it. I'm just kind of wondering what could have been if I hadn't done that. But it is what it is. We'll move on. Still happy with second. The racing itself was at the end obviously was pretty chaotic, but man, just you couldn't pass on the bottom tonight for some reason, man. At least I had trouble with it. If you tried to make a pass, you couldn't make the pass in a lap or two. The right front was just gone. So that's why you saw a lot of guys up there on the top just kind of saving their stuff and waiting until the end. That's what I was trying to do. And it paid off. Put me in a good spot to get a solid finish, and that's ultimately what we came out with. So I'm pretty happy with it, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt. Ollie definitely have to be somewhat, happy with tonight, how it played out for you, man. I mean, first top 5 of the season here for you after 3 races. How's it feel to get some of that momentum on your side and especially heading into a road course?
Yeah, definitely good to get a good finish at a track where I know I can get it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Good for the points. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about next week too. I'm gonna be practicing my butt off here the next few days, trying to win me some maple syrup. So that'll be fun. And yeah, just try to build on this momentum and see if we can't get a couple more of these. Hopefully, one spot better next time.
Oh, hopefully, Ollie, congratulations again on second place. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours.
Yeah, I just want to thank my family and friends and everyone who watches the stream and watches me on track. I appreciate it. Gotta thank the new sponsor, Hot Lap Breads. If you want to go and get a 10% discount, you can use my code capital O capital F 24. And he's got some awesome merch on there. I think he's gonna drop a line for me here soon. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, thanks to you guys for putting this broadcast on every week. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for giving us the show to cover. That's going to be second place finisher of Ollie Fonseca. Congratulations and good luck next week.
Thank you.
From some of the best finishes of the race to one of the most consistent drivers of the start of the season. He's only one of 2 that have been able to finish in the top 10 for every race. Well, he's the only driver now that's finished in the top 10 for every race. Christopher Norris finishing in 3rd. Congratulations there, Norris. Man, how are you feeling coming away with 3rd?
Pretty ecstatic, man. But when you bring up that stat of being the only driver finishing in the top 5, I just got to say sorry to Mark and Kanata. Kanata would probably been that second driver to also finish in the top 5 every single week. But unfortunately, I just made a small mistake on coming down on Mark, which unfortunately killed our Team Alliance teammate, Kanata. But aside from that, I'm pretty excited for what's going on. 3 top 5s in a row, that's something unprecedented for me. So I'm glad that's happening. And road course next week is even greater. But I just want to say sorry to those guys first off, and also apologize. I mean, I just shouldn't have to apologize, but I also feel bad for Nick, man. I want to see him finish in front of me, especially in the lead, but those 4 tires were just such a better move.
Yeah, to go into that move a little bit. I mean, you come in here with a win, Christopher, at Daytona, where you're locked into the playoffs. Does that weigh on your decision to try those 2 tires, knowing that you have that win to fall back on, and you're just now trying to stack up bonus points?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few guys tell me that you don't need to go for points, you need to go for wins. That's something never I've had the opportunity to do. I don't really know how to do it. So I'm kind of figuring that out. So, I mean, I told my teammates earlier today, I was like, I don't know how we're going to get in the top 10 before the stage, but if I have to do a stupid strategy, I will do it. And that's what we did at the end of the race.
The strategy helped out on giving you more points and making you feel a lot more solidified points-wise heading into these next couple of weeks. Congratulations once again on 3rd there, Chris. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
Thank you. I want to, of course, shout out my team, Nick Crawford, Cody Reed, John Forbes. Unfortunate ending for John Forbes there. He got caught in an earlier incident, so I'm sad to see that he's been wrecked out almost every single week, but at least he was able to come back at Daytona for a decent finish there, and I believe at Las Vegas, well, P6, I think. So I'm glad for that. You guys for the great show. And also, as I mentioned earlier, the second Alliance team is Revline. Shout out to those guys. Kanata, who I unfortunately got involved in an incident with. He's been a huge help last week and this week with fuel numbers. So that guy's math brain is amazing. And then Crowfoot, glad to see him come back for this season. And then, of course, my family for letting me scream and yell every time I finish P3 at higher, especially, or when I wreck. And yeah, this league for putting on such a great show.
Well, that is going to be your 3rd place finisher of Christopher Norris. Congratulations on continuing your streak of finishing in the top 5 for every race so far. And hopefully it will continue next week at Canadian Tire.
Thank you.
Well, as we head from 3rd place, talked about the fact that he has not finished inside of the top 10 in a while. Well, it's over a year since he has found himself in a top 5 position. Give it to him. Tyler Dangler with the special scheme, thanking his father for a happy birthday. Tyler, congratulations on finishing in 5th place. You finally got a top 10, let alone you got yourself a top 5 here tonight.
Oh my God, it feels incredible. I mean, the strategy or the race, how the race went, I didn't necessarily think I'd be in this type of a position, but how the late race yellows went, I'm glad I was able to be where I'm able to be.
It was great to see where you ended up, Tyler, man. First off, congrats on that, and I know that's something you've been shooting for, and this is got to be some good wind of momentum here for you heading into Canadian Tire. And personally, some of your better runs, come on those road courses. How you feeling heading into that road course?
I got to be honest, Zach, I really haven't been available to run any laps at Canadian Tire. So I'm going to be doing a lot of practice this week to get familiar with the track because I've only run maybe a total of 5 laps ever on that track. So hopefully I do well. The momentum from this race carrying over to next week may not be the same because they're 2 very different tracks. But hopefully the good luck of me getting a top 5 carries over to next week.
We hope for that as well, Tyler. Congratulations once again for a 5th place finish, and now the floor is yours for anyone you want to shout out.
Well, obviously, looking at my truck, I'd like to thank my dad, give him a happy birthday. He's turning, I believe, 57 today. When your parents get older, sometimes you just don't remember how old they are. I'd also like to thank you guys, obviously, for broadcasting. Obviously, my teammates for being there for the whole race. My girlfriend for watching. And I think that's it. And hi, Mom.
Well, that is going to be the 19 machine of Tyler Dangler getting a top 5 finish in 5th place. Congratulations and good luck next week.
Thanks, Sam.
As we go from our interviews, let's get ready to look at some of the final results here tonight. Got a lot of drivers that are happy and plenty that may be rethinking on some of their driving tactics into these next couple of weeks. I think there might be some that may not be racing next week, Zach, but these top 10 drivers, some of them incredible on the fact of the consistency that they've had, some great rebounds. And we're going to start things off with the 46 of Trenton Jump getting into victory lane, being our 3rd different winner this season. And then in 2nd place, Ollie Fonseca, great finish for himself. Christopher Norris has been the hottest driver since the season started. He won at Daytona. He's now got 2 top 3 finishes. To follow up with that, he's the only driver to finish in the top 5 for every single race. Then we also have the 31 of Blake Hope Hoppy going to be in 4th. Tyler Dangler in 5th. Ryan Bird 6th. Mark Whitley 7th. 8th. That of Nick Crawford. Ryan Ferraro with Christopher Norris, the only driver to finish inside of the top 10 for every race so far this season. What a step for the 30, that of the 34, who's had a great season so far. And Malik Kuntz, he finally gets a top 10 to start out the season. A great rebound after being caught up in the intent wreck earlier in this race.
Yeah, that was kind of where I was going to lead to. Even a good run for Joshua Freed there, right outside the top 10, the 11th position for him. But some guys like Joshua Kanata back there in 14th, that's a tough break for him. He was right in the mix all night long, couldn't get it done. Cody Reed takes the 2 tires. He ends up 17th after losing his truck. And Ryan Crowfoot, even, he was up there in the top 4. He ends up 22nd. So it just shows you it didn't really work out too well for the 2-tire drivers. And also some drivers like Danny Cochran, Noah Steele, TJ Crampton, back there in the 27th, 28th, 29th positions that, were kind of knocked out of this race due to some side actions of drivers getting a little upset there. So two weird events that played out here tonight, but still nonetheless a good race that went on in the background. So it was fun to call, and definitely one that's leading up to Canadian Tire where I cannot wait to see that track.
I know a lot of drivers really are going to spend all week trying to learn, get used to Canadian Tire. A lot of them have never touched that track, let alone have purchased it. So it's going to be an interesting one to see who's going to put the time and effort in to win at a brand new course the ISRC Larry Art Productions Truck Series has ever ran. I think that's the most exciting thing, because when we go to new road courses, usually it's someone we haven't thought about that gets into victory lane. As for tonight, though, a wild one. We needed all 3 overtime attempts in this Trenton Jump winning the sponsored race that his team sponsored here this evening. 3 different winners. And Zach, I'm excited for this week because we've got other leagues to cover. Instead of just the ISRC Truck Series, we've got Wednesday night, the WSSR. They are back to racing, but changing the day. No longer Saturday. It's going to be Wednesday night for the Gen 4 Cup car, and will carry over into Thursday. Gen 4 Cup car for the Stars and Stripes. They were in the ARCA machine last season. They're bumping up the horsepower, and it's going to be a fun week, Zach, of covering some of the fastest cars you could ask for.
They are definitely fast, that's for sure, and they're wild too. I tell you what, the 2 plate races coming up, both of Daytona for the leagues, they are going to be action-packed. You're not going to want to miss out on those because I can tell you I got some practice in myself for that race as I'm competing in it Wednesday, and I'll be commentating on Thursday. I'm telling you what, those cars are wild, and we're going to see some bump drafts gone wrong, some good drafting maneuvers, big blocks, and big runs all around. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. And also, opening races of the season. No better way to kick off your season than to get a new winner.
Daytona certainly going to be a fun one to watch. We've seen spectacular finishes and plenty of different vehicles with the Gen 4 Cup machines. Fast, wild. Excited to see how the race is going to finish. But for tonight, thank you for joining with us. It was a wild one. A lot of issues that we're going to figure out going into next week. Who's penalized, who's not, who could get the 4th race win? Will it be a repeat winner this season, or will we have our 4th different winner of the season? Time will tell. But for tonight, thank you so much for joining with us. For myself, Sam Dyer, Zach Hall, Robert Moyer Jr., and everyone else at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, thank you for joining with us. We'll see you Wednesday night for our next Freaky Fast broadcast.